I think it could have been avoided in the first place if we'd stopped the war when we could have done 4 or 5 years ago. I think that's a relatively small number given the number of migrants we're talking about. I think Germany's going to take over 800,000. And what was interesting was that I think Bob Geldof said he'd give one a room, and the newscaster said that we're not allowed to give them a room. We have to give them a house. Well, there are English people living in rooms. We've got to give them a house. Why don't we give them gym membership as well and a car, you know, and a free bus pass? I think, you know, everything has to be managed to meet with people's expectations.
I think at the moment it's enough. I have a little bit of concerns about the policy and where those people are intended to come from. But I sort of see why he's doing it, because if we can take them from people that haven't travelled, it discourages all the travelling and the things that have caused all the anxiety. But in principle, I think as a starting point, I think it's right, and I think we now need to be looking beyond Europe and to the rest of the world to see what they're going to do as well.
Because there is a problem. All these people, really, they should be. They should probably be shipped over in proper boats. But it's very difficult for the public to assess really what's going on, because Russia's involved. It's a very complex situation, and in a way, we have, by invading Iraq and Libya, in a sense, we have set this off some years ago.
I think it might not be enough, but also we've got to think about, in the UK, we're also struggling to house people that already live here. So it's whether we can take into our infrastructure kind of thing, because we're not really doing that well anyway, looking after our own people.
I think the trafficking issue is a problem. You know, families are paying lots of money for one member of the family being able to take a boat, and then vulnerable other people left behind are then trafficked out and again abused under a system which can't protect them. I want there to be a system where the vulnerable people are protected. So yes, of course, you know, let refugees in, but we need to really monitor who the refugees are, how we can actually really help those who are vulnerable, and make that a priority.
Well, probably not. But you know, but then equally, if other countries all did the same, then the numbers will soon go up. You know, if more countries get on board, the better it will be. But then you've got Germany and France that are taking in more and more as well. But then, obviously, we're one of the countries with the highest densely populated. You know, with Germany and France have got more space. But I think people are really worried about the effect on public services and things. But it's a morality issue, really, isn't it? You know, what do? You know, you think, oh, will I lose some services, or will I help save someone's life? You know,
I think they should. I think it's imperative. Most of the crisis, this is my opinion, was directly or indirectly caused by the UK, bombing of Libya, or the invasion of Iraq. So these ISIS, the rise of ISIS was indirectly because of the UK government. So I think they should do their part and actually take responsibility for their own actions. Yes, that's my...